Happy Friday. Today is Friday the 13th. This is the 50th episode. It's a milestone day. The 50th episode of the Be Your Own Hero show. Be Your Own Hero is, well, the hero part is an acronym. It means helping everyone reach optimism, which means it's a reciprocal action. It's a reciprocal action. You get as much out of giving as the person you're giving to does. Yeah, it's a reciprocal action. And in the context of this show, this is my journey of my effort to become my own hero. Hopefully there's something in my story that's inspiring to you. Shout out to New Thought Media Network for giving me the space and opportunity to talk about my journey of being a hero or becoming a hero. And what else? Disclaimers. I am not a personal trainer, nor am I a licensed financial advisor, so take my comments with a grain of salt. But these are the things that have worked for me, and hopefully you'll get some utility out of my journey. All right, so let me check my notes to make sure I got everything. The show is here live, right where you're watching it now, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern on the New Thought Media Network. It also rebroadcasts on my Facebook page and my YouTube page. So if you miss it live, you can check it out there. You can still leave a comment even when you watch the replay because I'll see them later. All right, is that everything? Oh, and as always, I hit the computer. As always, please feel free to check out the store, the Be Your Own. Well, no, the Hero Store has a different name. It's the URL is the giveherohoodies.com. Forgot my own URL. Giveherohoodies.com. I just put that up on the screen. So as always, please feel free to support the store. Any item that you buy in the store creates a bonus item that I gift to the unhoused community, and also it triggers a donation to these various nonprofits, separate from the charity run, which I'll talk about in a second. All right, so I think that's all my introductory stuff. Yeah, so this is Friday, which means it's Flashback Friday. My quick question is, are you grounded? Are you grounded? That's really for me. That's me talking to me because I'm in a new space and I am recalibrating to this new space. It's a new old space, but I still have to recalibrate. So I am making efforts to ground myself. And just a reminder to you to tune in to whether or not you're grounded. And if you're not, do what you need to do to keep yourself grounded. So talking to me, talking to you too. Let's get ourselves grounded. All right, so Flashback Friday is the day when I recap what we talked about throughout the week. So let's run through that. On Motivation Monday, the question was, can you break your cycles? Rhetorical question. Obviously, yes, you can. But I talked about the homeostatic impulse, which is something I just learned about. But actually, it just gave a name to something I'm familiar with. Because I'm familiar with the feeling of being pulled back towards comfort. And I'm sure you are too. Like when you decide to let's start a diet, for example. You decide to start a diet. And you find for the first week or so, but you feel yourself being pulled back to the familiar. I think we're all familiar with that. Well, it has a name. It's called the homeostatic impulse. And basically that means the subconscious mind is more comfortable in comfort. So it will automatically try to pull you back to your familiar routine, primarily because, well, there are many reasons, but the one that resonates the most to me is it's busy. The subconscious mind is also regulating all of your bodily systems, which means even though the brain is only 2% of the body, it consumes like 20% of the calories that you take in a day. It's busy. It's a caloric monster. It's doing a lot of things. So the more you stay in comfort zones, the more you stay in the familiar, the less work it has to do, quote unquote, in terms of thoughts, mental energy. So it pulls you back. It keeps pulling you back to familiar patterns. So you have to actively fight against that. All right, that's the homeostatic impulse. So check that out. Tip Tuesday, that's the money day. And the question was, do you have a millionaire in your back pocket? Again, rhetorical question. The answer is yes. We have access to all these devices, which gives us further access to millionaires and thought leaders and ideas and concepts. The most powerful idea and concept about money for me right now is do not have any dead money. That phrase alone really bugs me out. No dead money. I got that one from Grant Cardone, who was a multi-billionaire. And he says, don't have any dead money. Your money needs to be growing. You need to plant it. You need to garden it so it's growing. If it's just sitting in your bank account, it's dead money. Woo! That's strong, isn't it? That's strong. So anyway, I'm sure that must have resonated with some of you too. All right, so that was Tuesday. On Wednesday, the question was, do you know what you're capable of? And I told a hilarious story about me chasing this jogger that I call Pink Shorts on the West Side Highway, and how it pulled me to my first sub 5-minute mile. And it just made me realize that I don't know what I'm capable of, and neither do you. And we really need to stretch and push and try things to understand what we're capable of. Like, that's the only way to find out. Just push your limits. So all that said, yes, I will keep my distance. A few of you commented about, well, don't scare the lady. I will not scare Pink Shorts. I will keep my distance. And also, since then, I encountered Blue Shorts, is this guy that runs, and I followed him. I think it's called, I tucked in behind him. So I followed him and I matched his steps, and he pulled me. He had me running at a 5-minute mile pace. So anyway, check my social media for that. I talked about that story. So I'm experimenting with pacing and matching other people's pace and just trying to challenge myself to see what I'm capable of. So I suggest you do the same in whatever way you can. All right, so that was Workout Wednesday. And on Tally Thursday, the question is always the same. Do you know your numbers? And I talked about the charity run. I am over 160 miles now, or right at 160 miles that I've accumulated during June, July, and now August, running at least a mile a day, every single day, 0 days off from June 1st. I've accumulated a lot of miles, a lot of information, a lot of learning, and it's been very instructive. The main thing, and I'll talk about this more on one of the Workout Wednesdays, but the main thing I've learned is that it's much more about mental than it is about physical. It's much more you against you. And you come face to face with your excuses and my lack of work ethic. Like, you really have to confront yourself to be able to get out there and do it every day. Is a Herculean mental feat more than it is a Herculean physical feat. So try it. Try doing something consecutively for 30 days, some form of exercise for 30 days, and see what you learn about yourself. Anyway, I went off on the sidebar there. So Thursday, Tally Thursday, do you know your numbers? And I've been talking about the various nonprofits. So I've been doing disbursements from the charity run. I've been dispersing the monies that you donated. So thank you for that. So we've given so far to In God's Hand. That's a nonprofit in Nashville. And she made a pandemic shift to start feeding the unhoused during the pandemic. After her day job, she goes and gives out food. This is Lisa Sutton. Her name is Lisa Sutton. She goes and gives out food to the unhoused. So check her out on Instagram, In God's Hand. All right. Also, I gave money to New Directions, which is in Louisville, Kentucky. Nice full circle there. Nice full circle story there, because the hero ambassador for Mississippi used to be a resident at this place. So it's nice to be able to give to that place kind of on her behalf. So check out New Directions in Louisville, Kentucky. And today I made a disbursement of, again, $140 per nonprofit so far. So this third one I made today was to the Old Path. This is in Memphis, Tennessee. And I also went to Memphis and linked up with Lenora Brown and Joy Doss, who lives in, so Lenora lives right across the border into Mississippi, Walls, Mississippi, and Joy lives in Memphis. And we connected, the three of us connected, and we went to donate all kinds of things, you know, hoodies, lotions that I mentioned before that were created by Wasita, and hats, clothing, all kinds of things, gift bags full of stuff. Oh, actually, when I do the intro, when I play the outro, just look at the photos and you'll see us holding these bags up, these little polka dot gift bags. That's us giving to these various places, to New Directions and to Old Path. Anyway, so we stood out on the street with Old Path, and the reason we're standing out on the street is because they keep the address secret. The reason they keep the address secret is because it's a women's shelter, and they had a situation where a woman came to stay there, and she went somewhere and was seen, and then her abusive husband or boyfriend was able to find her. And so they want women to be able to come there and be safe. So they keep the address completely secret ever since then. So I don't even know where it is. I kind of generally know we kind of stood on a corner in an area that must be close to the nonprofit, but they keep the address secret even from folks like us. So that I thought that was really great that they're so dedicated to keeping the secrecy of the women that stay there. So really cool. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Old Path, and I hope that money does some good. And thanks to you again, everybody who's watching, everyone who donated. I really appreciate it. So we've now donated to 3 of the 7 nonprofits, and I'm going to keep doing that on a daily and telling you a little bit more about the nonprofits as we go, because you might want to get involved with these nonprofits yourself directly, make some donations or reach out to them, ask them if they need help, what have you. So just to recap those 3 names: In God's Hand is in Nashville, Tennessee. New Directions is in Louisville, Kentucky. And The Old Path is in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, that's cool. We've donated in 3 different cities already. All right, so that's all of that. I think I'm going to do a commercial break and some shout outs, and then we're out. All right, so I'll be right back after this commercial interruption. Okay, so shout out to the people in the chat. What's up, Tim? Hey, Gladys. Hey, Nan. Hey, Reverend Al. All right, shout out to everybody. Thanks for tuning in live. I appreciate it. And in terms of my shout outs, just a reminder that I do have a podcast, well, 2 podcasts. And I've been posting about the Project Love Strong event. It's called the 3rd annual T's and T event. So we did that. It feels like yesterday, but I guess that was a couple weeks ago now in Nashville. And it was great. A lot of you sent socks to donate to that cause, and those socks have been donated. We showed up with 49 socks. And there was a very funny story about the police and their involvement with the socks. And actually, one of the police officers heard the podcast and sent me a note about it, laughing. It's pretty funny. So check out the podcast. I'll put it up on the screen. And also my second podcast. Oh, did I say the name of my first one? My first podcast is the Sekou Rights Podcast. Pretty simple, easy to remember. And the other one is Get Rich 101. And that's my podcast about getting rich. It's all about mindset around money. I'm literally reading a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, which was written in 1910. But the information is really, really impactful. And I kind of updated the language a little bit. Like, you know, when he's talking about trains, I might have updated it to cars, you know, just like that, just to kind of make it relevant to today. So check out both of those podcasts. I'll be dropping another episode of the Sekou Rights Podcast tomorrow on Saturday. That's my podcast day. The Get Rich 101 is a full season. It's the whole book. It's done, so you can binge listen to that one whenever you want. Okay, so I think that's it. As always, please support the Hero Store. GiveHeroHoodies.com. And if you'd like to help me, I mentioned this on yesterday, Tally Thursday. If you'd like to help me kind of tally up these numbers and get straight on a couple things, I'd appreciate the help. So hit me up. So other than that, I will see you here on Monday, back for the Be Your Own Hero show, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. And I'll see you in a few minutes for Sip with Rev Melissa. I produce that show. Right here on the New Thought Media Network at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Yeah, and also I also produce Living Life Enjoyed, Reverend Melissa's show on Sunday, but you don't see me there. I'm behind the scenes. Okay, so I'll see you guys in a minute. Thanks for tuning in live. Keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own hero, most important. And remember that now, right now, is better than perfect. Later.